I got a new chair. Yo, what's going on? Kamikaze Soundwaves here, and yeah, I got a gaming chair. I've never had one before. This is my first one. I've gone back and forth for a long time on wanting to get one. I finally pulled the trigger on it, and out of all the companies who make these things nowadays, the one that I settled with was Secret Lab. Now, there are a lot of reasons why I chose this chair and that company in particular. So the reason I got this chair is because, of course, like any consumer, I'm going to check reviews. Just about every review that I've seen on this company and this chair has been very positive. Of course, there's some people who have different gripes, and comfortable levels can be subjective to other people. So, but for the most part, most reviews were positive of the last model of this chair and the new model of this chair. Now, this is the 2020 new model, Secret Lab Titan. So, the reason that I chose this chair is because I've seen that a lot of people will get chairs to review for free, so they have no way to really critique it. They have to be kind of positive of it. But a lot of people who actually I made sure I watched videos and reviews of people who actually purchased these chairs with their own money, like I did, and they gave an honest review of it, and pretty much all those reviews were fairly positive. After, wanting a gaming chair for a while, I've done a little bit of research, and throughout some of the companies, there was a couple other ones that I was looking into, but the one thing that really drew me to this chair was it has two different sizes, and it makes it very clear to you which size range of chair you need for your body type. Now, there is a smaller version, which is the Omega, and then there's a Titan, which I have. Now, I'm a little bit on the larger side, probably much larger side, but I'm 6 foot and I weigh about 260 pounds. Sometimes I lose weight, but I pretty much stay around 250, 260 pounds. This chair right here is ideal for people who are about 5'7" to 6'7", and around, 200 pounds to, I believe, 290 pounds. So the Omega chair does make sure that it clarifies that it is for people who are a little bit smaller frame, smaller weight size. So you're not buying a chair that you're not going to fit in and be comfortable in. A lot of other gaming chairs that I've seen, they're kind of one size fits all, depending on how your height range and how much you weigh, they're expecting a lot of people to buy this chair and automatically just fit in it comfortably. And that's one thing that I really liked about this chair. Some other companies do that, but this one right here, I thought they did it very well. So those are some of the reasons why I actually chose this chair. Now let's talk about my experience with it since I've got it. Now, first off, let's go ahead and talk about how quick this damn thing arrived on my doorstep. All right, no BS. I ordered this chair at maybe 2 o'clock. I believe it was on a Thursday. Friday, the next day before 2 p.m., the very next day, less than 24 hours, this chair was on my doorstep. That impressed me. I said, holy hell, how did this chair show up so quick? That was really great. It ships out very, very, very fast. It is made in the USA, so I think they ship out of Utah or Tennessee, or they have a factory in both places, not positive. But yeah, less than 24 hours, this thing was on my doorstep. So assembly, if you've really ever put anything together as far as furniture, if you ever put any IKEA furniture together, hell, if you've ever built anything for your kids as far as toys and what have you, you can put this chair together. Very simple, very easy. The unboxing, basically they give you this big gigantic instruction thing where you don't have a piece of paper where you're fiddling around with that. They give you this big old board where you can just kind of set it down next to you while you're building it so you can see the steps. There's about 15 steps or so, but they're all super easy, super simple. I'd say the time frame that it took to put this chair together was about 30, maybe 35 minutes. The only problem that I had really putting the chair together was the actual chair back and the chair base. But this is a pretty pricey chair, and I didn't want to screw anything up. I wanted to make sure everything was put together correctly because I'm going to be using this chair for the long haul. So I did take my time putting the chair together, but even still, me taking my time to make sure everything was tightened down and where it needed to go was still about 30 to 35 minutes. Was really, really easy, really, really quick. So honestly, once I had the chair all together and I sat down in it, I gotta say that I wasn't impressed. Okay, so I sat down in the chair and I said, hey, this is a chair. Like, I wasn't really that thrilled. I'm like, holy hell, what did I just buy? I mean, this is the chair that I was using before, and I found this chair for maybe $15, maybe $20 at Goodwill, and it's a good chair. I mean, it's all suede. It's got really good support. And I'm just not a type of person. I'm not really subject to change really well. Most human beings aren't. But as soon as I sat in this chair the first time, I was like, okay, it's a chair. It's okay. It's all right. I don't see what all the rave and the fuss is about it. But I said, you know what? Before I open my mouth about this chair, let me spend some time with it. And that's what I did before I'm talking to you. I've had this chair for about 3-4 days now, about 4 or 5 days, somewhere in that time range. I've spent not a ton of time in it, but quite a bit enough time in it where I feel comfortable telling you how I feel about it. Now, once again, before I go forward, I just want to say that, again, the way that comfortableness can be perceived is subjective to different people. But for me personally, this is how I feel about this chair in particular. Now, the really great thing about this chair is that it has so many different functionalities, okay? So there's a magnitude of different ways you can position this chair. You can have it leaning all the way back. You can have it sit up, and you can have it rock back and forth. You can have it locked into a position where it doesn't go back and you're locked in that place. You can have the chair leaning forward. Your armrests move in so many different kinds of ways: up, down, left, right, inwards, outwards, out, in. And there's so many different positions, and I think that's why I finally understand why they call it a gaming chair. Because when you play different types of things, like for me personally, if I'm playing PC, the way that I actually control it, you know, like putting the arms rest up in a certain way is fantastic. Now, the other way of like using my controller, if I'm in a relaxed state or if I'm in a really intense state, I mean, there's just so many different ways. If I'm just leaning back watching a YouTube video, if I want to really, really relax, just chill out and watch something, there's so many different kinds of positions to put this chair in depending on what you're doing at the moment. That is why I can highly recommend this chair. It is very firm, okay? It's really firm. Now, there are 3 different kinds of things with this brand of chair. There's a fabric weave, there's a leather, then there's the 2.0 Pew leather. I'm not really going to get into all the scientific details behind all that, but I went with this model, which is the Cloud 9. Now, they do have a lot of different models as well. I want to speak to that. They have like a Batman one, which I really highly considered, but I thought it was just all black and kind of plain. But I went with this model, which is the Cloud 9 one. They have like Game of Thrones. They have all kinds of like just different designs, and all of them like really fresh, really cool. I mean, I had a hard time picking this one, but I think out of all of them, it matched my setup the most, and I just really liked the way they look. I thought it was super dope looking. Now, I did go with the PU one. So again, I just want to say that the chair, the leather, and stuff on it is very, very, very firm. So it really took me by surprise because I thought I would just sit down in some kind of cushiony chair, but the one thing I can say about this chair, as firm as it is, like when you sit in it, I feel like when I sit in this chair, like I'm ready to do things. It's not like a chair like a lazy boy where you kind of sink into it and you relax. When I sit in this chair, like I feel like I'm ready to go and do something, edit a video, play a video game, play on my PC. You know, it just makes me want to do things. So after using in different kinds of modes and different kinds of things, I can say that I really like this chair. I really, really, really like this chair. And there's really only kind of one drawback to the chair. There are the hand rails. I think that they just needed to be something more cushiony, like memory foam, what have you. I'm not 100% feeling them. They're just kind of like, it's a soft plastic, but a hard plastic at the same time. I don't love them. They work. There are some covers I believe you can get for them, but out of any gripe that I've had with the chair thus far, that's it. They're not way uncomfortable. I just kind of feel like they should be something else, especially without all the other ways that the chair feels. Got some very nice roll to it with a little bit of resistance, but not too much. All the parts glide like butter. Everything on this chair moves so fluently and so well. I will say the function where the chair goes all the way back, where you lay back, every time I do that, I feel like I'm going to fall out of the chair, which you won't. It's sturdy. It can hold a guy like me, no problem, but I've done it a few times just to test it out, and it's not really a favorite of mine, but I could see how it could be relaxing. Now, going up and down in this chair, again, I am 6 foot tall, and at its highest, my feet are barely touching the ground. I mean, they are touching the ground, but like my foot's a little bit elevated, like where my bottom of my like toes are just right here, like, but it's down. So it goes up pretty high and it goes down pretty low, which is also very cool for me because I can lower it at its lowest points and lower all the handrails, and it can slide up under my desk and be out of my way. My old chair, I couldn't move the arm rail, so my chair always stuck out quite a bit from my desk, which is also pretty cool. Then in a few gaming sessions in it. I hate calling it gaming sessions. Playing some video games in this thing is really great. Especially playing on PC, I feel like that I've had the most, I've probably spent the most time playing in PC on this and editing some videos and making some stuff like that in this chair. I have played a few things as far as console goes, but both ways have been fantastic. I spent a couple of hours playing it on both, and every time that I'm in this chair, it's a fantastic experience. So I'm happy to say that this was a very solid purchase in my opinion. Now, the thing is about this chair, the price. That's another downside of it. Now, it's a little over $400. It's about $430. Shipping is included. It's a little pricey, but the thing is, as far as I was concerned, that also I've made sure that I did not only watched reviews that, talk about the chair initially, but, the long-lasting reviews. So people come back to it 6 months to 8 months later, and they talk about the chair then. The chair holds up. As far as I'm concerned and what people are saying and showing the chair, that it holds up. Now, I am planning on doing that as well. As long as I'm still kicking it, I am going to review this chair again in about 6 months and see if that really does hold up. But this does have a 2-year warranty. And another really great thing about it is, yeah, it's pricey, but they do offer financing. So I don't think anybody would be expected to just go out and spend $400 something on an office chair or a gaming chair. So they do financing, and you can pay it off in a certain time where you won't have to pay any interest, but of course there'll be some more if you got to pay. But it's just like anything else, you got to apply for it, and credit card or what have you. So as far as I'm concerned as the chair, the quick delivery time, the easy setup, the so many functionalities of it being as comfortable as it is, and I know I said initially when I sat in it, I wasn't impressed, but the time that I've been sitting in it, it has completely blown my expectations out of the water. I mean, I honestly wasn't impressed when I sat in it, but after spending the time that I have, it's great. It's really, really good. After playing around with a lot of the, knickknacks and getting things where I want them, it's great. It's fantastic. Now, if you're thinking that every time you got to move something, you got to move this, that, third, got to move anything. No, you can set it how you want it and do it for other things. But for me, personally, there are different, now that I have the chair that can actually move in different ways, I actually find myself moving the chair in different ways to fit what I'm doing, and it's fantastic. Pretty pricey for a chair, completely understood, kind of overkill, but you know what? At the end of the day, I've always wanted a gaming chair, and after picking this one, I think that I picked the best one. I haven't, done the Pepsi challenge or done the appropriate legwork to make sure that I've tested all the chairs, but this one that I've sat in, it's amazing. I really can't recommend this chair enough. So this is my thoughts and review on the 2020 Titan gaming chair. I think it's a fantastic purchase. Pretty pricey. Armrests, but other than that, the chair is fantastic. Completely fantastic. So this is Kamikaze Soundwaves. Much obliged for stopping by and checking out the video. I hope I helped you make this a better decision on this chair if you're looking to it particular or just looking for a gaming chair in general. But again, thanks for checking out the video. Much obliged. Have a good one, and I'll see you over the next one. Later.